Back to another scent notes video. Today I'm going to talk about a new release I have coming out, but it's also kind of an old release. It's called Lamplight Penance. You might remember it from the Chatillon Lux line. Came out when I with the Parfums line, which eventually became Maher Olfactive. It had I hadn't brought it over yet though, because for one reason it's about Henri Chatillon, so it kind of made more sense in the Chatillon Lux line. But on the other hand, it was also had a few materials that were just couldn't get a hold of anymore, and so I kind of was behind the eight ball, and I didn't know what to do. Couldn't really find any. I hadn't found any good replacements yet, and so I just kind of was a little bit indecisive. I still did have some of those materials on hand, however, and so I was talking with American Perfumer, and they wanted to release Lamplight Penance as a special edition for American Perfumer, one last batch, just using up all the materials I have left, kind of say goodbye to it, and then I'll work on a slight reformulation, something a little bit more sustainable with materials that I know I can always get, and then I can release that under Maher Olfactive. So here on, we're going to be doing some pre-orders, and then whatever's left, we'll put it on the website, but we're going to do a run of it under the American Perfumer brand, but I am going to use the old Chatillon Lux boxes that tell the story of Henri Chatillon. So as a kind of just a real brief overview, Henri Chatillon was one of the stars of the Oregon Trail book. He was illiterate, but he spoke every single Native American language, and unlike, he had a Sioux chieftain's daughter was his wife, Snee-Mato. And even though many people at the time, many settlers had wives, Native American wives, who were just basically mistresses and treated as, you know, not more utilitarian, Henri was deeply and madly in love with Snee-Mato, and they talk about it in the book. And whenever she passed away, he was just utterly heartbroken and distressed. Years later, he had a marriage of convenience to Odile Delore Lux, which is where Chatillon Lux came from. And they built a mansion that was just a few blocks away from my old home. And he ended up, after they passed, someone else purchased it. It was the Dominial family. They expanded it, and now it's a event space. In the 70s, they were doing a remodel of the space, and they went up to the attic. They were pulling up some floorboards to do some wiring, and they found a portrait of Snee-Mato wrapped up with a gun and some other relics from his Henri's days on the trail. So I just, this scent is kind of a reconstruction of the idea of him going up, you know, sneaking off in the middle of the night by lamplight to go up and remember, you know, the woman he truly loved and the life he left behind. Just, you know, all the regrets, living through the glories, and just the windows open, the smell of the gardens and the fruits coming through and wafting around. And so Lamplight Penance is what became of that. It's also kind of, to me, it's really special because it's kind of a scent that got me on the map a little bit. Luca Turin gave it 4 stars and said something to the effect of, it's an example of what's possible when indie perfumers go by, you know, follow their own stars, find a blaze of trail with nobody's ever tread upon, something along those lines. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was just intensely flattering, and it really helped spur my career. So you know, it's a special scent to me. It's something that I really started to hone my chops on, as far as the idea that I have for a dichotomy in a scent, something that a juxtaposition that really plays off each other and brings out the elements of each seemingly disparate types of scents. Just like the scent especially is the story of two worlds, even if they can't exist together, you know, just trying to, you know, just two separate lives, just, you know, contrast with each other, and how that you finding the harmony between the two. So on this, what it started with was a lamp scent. I wanted to smell like a burning lamp wick, an oil lamp. So I used off that, I started with a little bit of ambergris. It was one that I got, and I found one that's similar. It's hard because, you know, with ambergris, it's just kind of like, depending on when it washes up on shore. So I found one that's not, it's a little bit different, but it's similar enough to the one I've used before. It's a natural ambergris, and then I'm trying to build off the idea of a the whale oil lamp. So, you know, you do that and you build on maybe some aldehydes for some waxiness and some oiliness. And then you kind of take Choy Ral, which is a really smoky scent. It's a little bit more, I think, a better idea analog for a lamplight wick, because other than like Cade, which is more barbecue, or birch tar, which is just a little more harsh. Choy Ral is a little bit more smooth. You know, made in clay pots. It's very, very good for this type of application. And I added something like a guaiacol, which aids to this in smokiness, also aids to a brown liquor accord that I made. Also include rum either in whiskey lactone. It's kind of a, so it's kind of a smooth, not really like super bitey, but there is a little bit to it. You're also gonna have in this, let me refer to my notes, because it's been years and years, at least I think about 4 or 5 years since I started working on it. I think about 5 years since I started working on it. So it's, I'm trying to refresh myself too. On top of that, I did make I wanted to do like berries, fruits, and flowers. So I did, I made what I called a papricot berry accord, which is kind of a apricot and some like peach and then some berries. So what I did with this, I kind of wanted to do like that, you kind of would whenever you have like that, the garden that they have out back that would be wafting through the windows. One of my favorite times of the year is whenever Eckert Farms harvests peaches and they show up at the grocery stores and local markets. And it's just a local farm. And so but when you think about the peach skin, it's a lot more tart, like, than you would think about the fruit, the juice itself. So I kind of used the aldehyde for that. And I went through a few things like methyl diantalus, or, you know, there's going to be some other things like a fructone, nectaryl, some other different items to kind of create a peach accord. And on top of that, I used a natural apricot I got from Robertet that's really good and adds that juiciness to it underneath the bitter skin. And then kind of along with that, I went and I added an orange blossom, a natural orange blossom from Egypt that kind of has that orangish quality, but also like underneath, like, you know, kind of that fruity juiciness, but underneath a white flower accord. Along with that white flower, I wanted to add the yellow flower of daffodil. And so this is kind of where the problem is. I used a pre-made accord to help build it off of that was kind of a dark narcissus accord, narcissus being the family of daffodil. And I used a few other floral builders along with that. And so it's kind of like it goes really well with that kind of the darkness of the oil burning lamp, and also the brown liquor, because it's kind of, it is, you know, yellow flower and is really kind of a little bit dank underneath that sweetness. It's very like, almost like a, like borderline rotted sweetness, like how like when fruit is really, really, really ripe and you kind of are right on the border, maybe you don't even want to eat it, but it still smells sweet. So along with all of that, I did a Virginia cedar, because I, you know, just represent the floorboards and kind of the attic. So I wanted to have a woody smell, and Virginia cedar is really, it smells kind of the most like damp out of all of the cedars. It's the most like, if you would, something I feel like you would relate to a red cedar the most when you smell it. It just smells like growing up, going to job sites and whatnot with my dad, smelling like a red cedar, you know, closet or a chest or something that's just freshly built. Virginia cedar really nails that for me. And then, yeah, finally, mahogany wood, kind of like a furniture wood. So it smells a little more polished, a little more refined. I used mahoganate and some other wood builders with that, kind of like ebonol, things like that. So it's very refined, and it kind of plays off the Virginia cedar a little bit, and just really adds some more depth again to that the oil burning lamp accord, because they just kind of feed off each other. So it's got a lot of dichotomy, a lot of things that you find they don't seem like they would go together, but they do kind of slot in, and I feel like that's a great metaphor for the story behind the scent as well. So, like I said, very soon we're going to be announcing more about this scent. February 25th is whenever we're going to officially release it. We'll have a pre-order beforehand, and also, I mean, if we do sell out the pre-order, we won't end up putting online. You never know. what's going to happen, but so if you want to make sure to get a bottle, you probably want to pre-order it. If you want to, roll the dice and see what happens, you can go ahead and wait for the release. Either way, more details will be coming soon, and I'm really excited to share this. And I'm also really excited to move on and find a way to give it new life. It's something really special, and I think it's kind of cool that it's a living, breathing document, and something I can really, update and really maybe have a few little things that could change and make it new and fresh, but also one more chance to share the old and something that so many people loved and so many people really enjoyed. I'm happy to have one more opportunity to share with you. So look forward to that, and I'll be talking soon too more about Valoria that I'm creating for Maher Olfactive, and some other scents I have on the way as well for Chatillon Lux. So I'll talk to you soon, and thanks.